I think that sometimes we get our self-esteem and we get our value from other people.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
And that's why one of the greatest things you can do is go through a season of isolation.
And we get our value and our self-esteem from accomplishments. It's a lot of different things we can get it from. But if we get it from everything except from God.
Except from the source.
Man, if we don't get it from the source, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
But now we are subject to whatever we are getting our value in.
Hey.
Grace and truth.
We're back, sir.
We're back. We're back for another episode of this thing called Grace and Truth Talks.
Yeah, I hope you guys are rocking and rolling with us. I'm so excited.
It feels so good for you to be back.
Does it? Yeah, I was out last week.
Yeah,
I was out last week.
It's a difference with the fellas than
Was
it is
it?
with you.
Did you enjoy it with the fellas?
Yeah, it was cool.
Did y'all enjoy it with the fellas last
hope they
week?
did.
I hope they did too. I actually went back and watched it. I thought it was really, really good.
Did you?
But I did. I thought it was
Okay.
really, really good
Yeah.
because sometimes I think that women really need to hear from men.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's good just for men to get together and have those
Yeah, for
conversations.
sure.
So I thought last week was incredible.
Yeah.
So we're going to ask you guys to do this for us. We need you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
Our podcast is on all streaming platforms. So whether that is on Apple, if it's on Spotify, if it's on YouTube, right now we are asking you all to please like, comment, share, subscribe. Am I missing anything, Pastor James?
No, like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell somebody about how this relationship podcast is really, really blessing your life. And like we say all the time, we have a podcast and a conversation that is for the mature.
Absolutely.
We're not called to the premature. We're not called to the immature.
Yeah.
Even though the premature and the immature can learn something from the mature, but that's what our conversation and that's who our audience is too.
Yeah.
It's for people who are serious about intentional nonstop growth as it pertains to relationships.
You know what I was thinking, because I have been immature.
Yeah.
I have been premature. And so now that I'm standing in a place of maturity,
Yeah, for sure.
it's never a matter of us talking at people because we've been where you are. It's just over the years God has given. Thank God for his grace and thank God for his mercy, because we have now matured into some things that I really feel like now that we are a sponge that the Holy Spirit uses and he can squeeze us and we are able to allow wisdom to flow through us to help other people, because we love marriage. And so even if you are single and you are watching this, this just isn't for married folks. Right now you can get the wisdom and the tools so you can choose wisely. So I think,
because the truth of the matter, babe, is this: real wisdom will always challenge the human will.
sir,
You got
listen,
me? Yeah, when the wisdom of God is flowing, it challenges the human will to walk out of selfishness and take the selflessness route.
Yeah.
So if you're not ready for that, maybe you can hear it and then you can get prepared, because the truth of the matter is that heavenly wisdom is going to challenge the human will.
I agree
It's gonna
completely. Pastor James, I want to dive in for those of you all who may not
the share
know
button.
us.
Share it right now. Go
And
ahead.
you all are maybe stumbling in. We pastor a church right here in Houston, Texas,
Yeah, for sure.
Transforming Faith Christian Center. And around about 2020, when the pandemic hit, you and I just started having these conversations and we started making them public to
And
share.
people start loving them.
Yeah, with the world. So with that being said, we have some great conversations that are going to continue to happen. And I want to dive into, I want to maybe call this a part 2 of
From
what you
last
all
week.
talked about last
Yeah.
week. Last week, you all talked about rejection, and you all really hit it from an angle from with men. So
Okay.
you all did it from, I know that in the beginning, you all talked about just rejection. You had Tyus there, who
Talking
is an
about his
NFL
coaches,
player,
yeah.
talking about coaching. You had, which I thought was awesome with Hingston. He talked about how his life took a turn and it looked
Because of
differently
rejection.
than what he, because of rejection, how he thought his life was going to go in one way and went a different way. Same thing with Andrews. Everybody had these amazing stories about rejection.
Yeah.
And then you shifted the conversation a little bit.
Yeah, because I felt like, I'm like, man, let's give the people what they want.
Y'all, so if you haven't
Yeah.
caught the episode from last week, you really need to hear it, because it's
I
it's
admonish you
hearing,
to go check it out.
you hear it from a male's perspective
Yeah.
about rejection.
Yeah, for sure.
And so you took it to a place more about relationship
Yeah, for
wise,
sure.
about when a man is rejected by a woman. And I kind of want to go in that route relationally as we
Okay.
talk today. And I want to talk about rejection from the standpoint of how it's different in the dating world versus rejection in marriage. So people think And I'm going to really hone in on the married part.
Yeah.
Because you can be rejected when you're dating. Mm-hmm. You can be rejected when you're in a relationship.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
But it also can very well happen in marriage.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I want to talk about, what do you do when you really do know that God has put you all together? Mm-hmm. And you're in a marriage with someone, and you're feeling like it is rejection, and your spouse may not even realize what they're doing to you is making you feel rejected. What does rejection look like in a marriage?
Okay. I think you got to be very, very careful in the contrast between rejection in dating and in rejection in marriage.
Yeah.
I think rejection in dating feels like that the door is closed. But I think rejection in marriage may feel like there is a potential of a breaking of a covenant. You got me? I think rejection in dating feels like my confidence is being challenged.
Okay.
But rejection in marriage feels like my identity is being challenged. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Can I go further?
Yes, sir. Please
I think
do.
rejection in dating feels like I don't want you. Mm-hmm. But I think rejection in marriage feels like you're not the person I need.
Like I don't value you.
I don't value you. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? I think rejection in dating, I think it stings my feelings.
Okay.
But rejection in marriage, it wounds my soul. Mm-hmm. You got me? Yeah. Last one. I think rejection in dating, I think it will redirect us.
Okay.
But I want to say that rejection in marriage will reshape us.
Yeah.
It's a major difference between being redirected and reshaped, right? Because when I'm in marriage, I cannot be redirected away from the covenant.
Right.
So if it can't redirect me, then it got to reshape me. Mm-hmm. And so depending on how I see it, are you with me? If I feel like that you're rejecting me and this is nowhere in the world that it can be to a place of acceptance, now it's going to reshape how I see myself. And if I see myself opposite of the way that you saw me on the first day that you said I do, then it's going to bring some turmoil. It's going to bring some infection. It's going to bring some stuff to our union that will not put it on the, it may take a while before we get back to the place of peace, joy, and fulfillment.
And the crazy part about, as I'm hearing you say that in marriage, rejection can feel like it will reshape you.
Yeah.
You got to be careful because rejection in marriage can also shatter you.
Yeah, for sure.
It can get you to a place, because you mentioned a part that it can feel like it's a wounding to your soul.
Yeah, it's a wound to the soul. Yeah,
and
for
so
sure.
if my soul is wounded, and then let's go and let's talk about, what does rejection look like in marriage? Because sometimes there can be rejection in marriage, and the person that may be on the end of feeling like they're being rejected, their spouse may not even be aware that they are receiving it as rejection.
For sure. I think it's different for everybody.
Okay.
So if you want me to get personal,
I don't know.
If you want me to get personal,
okay, well, maybe if I got to stop you, I will now.
Yeah, we good. For me, it's kind of like, all right, maybe I may irritate you. I may hit you in a place, and you may roll your eyes, and you might be quiet for a second. Like, rejection is subtle in marriage. It's not loud.
So let's dive in. So if you irritate me, or it's something that you do that I may roll my eyes, that can feel like rejection to you?
Yeah, it can. Because depending upon how long you stay quiet or you don't talk. You see what I'm saying? Because that's where it starts. It starts with whatever, like, you know, or however, and then you get silent.
Yeah.
And if you get silent and you be silent too long, now I'm starting to internalize it in a way of, right, it's not so much of what I did. Now it's going into how you see me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if I don't hurry up and snap back with the quickness, or if I don't grab a hold of myself quick, then what can happen is the enemy can keep on talking.
You know,
because when I start thinking one way and then he start talking another way, then the whole warfare from the enemy, from hell to us, is division. And so if he can just push a wedge in, You see what I'm saying? If he get the wedge in, now he going to start talking. And what he's going to try to do is just widen the wedge and widen the wedge and widen the wedge and widen the wedge. If I'm immature, what I'll do is feed what he's saying. But if I'm mature, right, I have to always go back to, she didn't choose me because of what I could do for her. She didn't choose me because of what I could do for her. She chose me because of who I am.
So you know what's interesting, just to hear that as an example. I mean, I wish that you could maybe give an example of that, because I don't care, because we are married and we are in real life.
Yeah.
But I guess my question is, sometimes for a woman, I'm using me as an example, if there's something that's happening and I know that we value peace, what you are receiving as rejection could very well be being quiet, because I want to make sure that our home is peaceful.
Absolutely.
And so do you see how we can interpret things in a way where it may be that somebody feels as though their spouse is shutting down, but it could also very well be, let me just be quiet, because if I continue to talk, this may go somewhere that I don't want it to go. As I'm even thinking about this, another way that rejection can show up. Because I was
just about to ask you, how do you feel about it?
I was about to say, the way rejection can show up in a marriage is if I have a particular way that I like to be loved. And if you are refusing to love me how I desire to be loved, for sure, and you're just giving me what you want to give me, and you're not giving me what I need, that can be rejection. For example, if my love language is quality time and words of affirmation, but that's not naturally who you are. You're not a person that is going to do a lot of speaking, or even, like, I'm going to use physical touch. If you are a man that is naturally, or a woman that is a loner, and your spouse really desires physical touch.
She's affectionate, but you're not affectionate.
Affection, or vice versa, he is, because I'm hearing a lot of this often from women after they have kids and they're working still and they're busy. They lose the affection because now their mind, it's so many different places they have to show up. So I'm thinking in the aspect of, if I desire affection, if I desire quality time, or if I desire words of affirmation, but you don't show up for me in that way, but instead you show up for me by giving me a gift.
By what I want to do
by
for
what
you.
Because it's the easy thing to do. So when you show up in a way that I feel as though that's not really what I desire, that's not what I want. What I needed was the hug. What I needed was the touch. What I needed was the date night. What I needed was that quality time. You didn't give that to me. So although you're thinking that you gave me something,
I'm thinking I'm feeding you something.
In my heart of hearts, I'm feeling rejected because in the way that I need you to show up for me, you won't show up for me in that way. So that is interesting. But once again, like you just said, the enemy will come in and he'll feed you thoughts. Okay, he not touching you because he not attracted to you no more. He's not giving you words of affirmation because you know what? That's just not what he doesn't really see the value in you. When the truth of the matter is, no, that's not even what it is. I got in bed last night. I rolled over and went to sleep because I was honestly just tired.
Flat out.
I didn't give a whole lot of words of affirmation because I didn't need to tell you look beautiful. You know you're beautiful. So it's ways that when we don't show up for our spouses in the way that they need. And so I was just having... You want to jump in?
Come on, no, you good.
I was just having a conversation with someone, and she was telling me how her... fiance, they have been going through this really, really, really hard season because he really desires love, affection, attention. He wants the physical touch from her. But she grew up in a home where there wasn't a lot of love. It wasn't a lot of love. It wasn't a lot of affection. She developed a
hardness.
Yeah, and so
unconsciously,
she
probably
loves him. She is crazy about him. But because she's not showing up for him in the way that he desires, he feels deeply rejected by her. And that can take a seed and can grow into something else.
Let me ask you this. What are some other ways that a person or spouse can be rejecting another spouse and not know it?
And not know it. I think the main,
because a lot of times rejection is not intentional unless it is some other stuff going on.
I can show you in a way where I see this often, that people are nicer to other people than they are to their spouse. So that is one way.
That's so good.
I see it often where you have a man or a woman, and I'll just use a church as an example because we're a church. You'll see this version of them on a Sunday morning.
That's so
they
good.
are the master greeter. They are just the kindest. They're going to love. They're going to hug. You can't beat them
That's so
praising
good.
God and
That's
just
so good.
loving people. But then as soon as they get home, who they were to everybody else,
they ain't the same.
You're not that to your
for
spouse.
sure.
You can embrace other people that you see, but then
That's so good.
you'll have a spouse looking at you and be like, well, wait a
Hold
second now.
on.
Yeah, we just left the house and you just got through going off on me on the way here. And now we get here and you turn into Mr. or Mrs. Personality. And so you start feeling rejection.
Yeah.
Or another way is somebody that works too much.
Yeah.
Somebody feeling like their job is like you're always choosing your job over me, or you're always choosing your friends over me. You don't want to ever get dressed up and go on a date night with me, but let your girls call. You're ready to go. You never want to go on vacation with me, but let your girls talk about a girls trip. You're ready to go. So I think it goes back to be honest with you, Pastor James, I do think that a person knows when they're rejecting somebody in marriage. If you,
depends.
I'm gonna say
so because let me jump in this. Let me jump in this. Two things that I'm hearing. Look, the solution to the two things you just said. The first thing when you said if a person is they treat everybody else with all this love, all this joy, all this respect, but then when they get home, they treat their spouse different. That's a spirit of familiarity. A spirit of familiarity has creeping into the marriage or creeping into the person, and a person is so familiar, they just kind of like feel like that I'm used to this, and because I'm used to this, it's just I'm just going through the motions, right? So familiarity is on the table first, right? Now in the next situation, when you can go do something with everybody else and you can go spend time with everybody else, you can kick it with everybody else, but then you don't really want to, do life with me, so to speak, then we got a problem with putting first things first. And so it's familiarity and first things first. Yeah. Those are the two issues. Prioritizing. Those are the two issues that's on the table. And so a lot of times that commonality, like when you get so common with a person and it's kind of like in the commonality, you lose the touch of, man, man, I'm being nice to everybody else. I ain't being nice to my spouse. Right. Yeah. Right. And I just believe if a person is aware that, hey man, check this out. You getting too familiar with me, or hey, check this out. You putting everybody else before me. It's just the communication of the situation.
Can I tell you though, sometimes being familiar or knowing your spouse, it isn't a bad thing as long as you don't weaponize it.
Yeah, for sure.
Meaning like, it's great that I know you. I know what you like to eat. I know your routine. I know you. I'm familiar with who you are. But on the same side of that, I'm not going to weaponize it, meaning that just because I know you, now I start just treating you like you my homeboy.
Yeah, for sure.
We homies in some areas, but you are my husband.
Yeah, for sure.
But Pastor James, I want to hit on a subject that is a little bit more more than just those things.
So you ready to go a little deeper?
I am. Okay. Because another way
hit the share button, we hit it deeper.
Rejection shows up is an intimacy, and I'm talking about sex in marriage. Sure. When a woman withholds herself from her husband, or a husband withholds himself from his wife, that can really feel like a deep rejection.
Without
and
a shadow of a doubt.
The reason I think this one is a major one is because if we are married, I am withholding something from you that you should not be able to get from anybody else.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
So it's a higher standard, because if I withhold it from you, the only way you were able to step out and get it, now you have to enter into infidelity. Now I'm sending you down a life where you're dealing with pornography.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so many ways where it's a ricochet effect. So when it comes to sex between man or woman, when you withhold that from your spouse, you are now putting them in a place where you are withholding something that you are the only one that should be able to give it to them.
Can I go deeper?
Yeah.
Can we take them deeper? Okay. Could you give me one of the, let's say a couple is really good. It's none like no infidelity, no fighting, no this, no that, but time is involved in the two. been becoming one. Could you give me the number one reason why you think that a woman will hold sex from a man as it pertains to not even being aware?
Tired, meaning that she's in a place where she is raising kids, also working a job, maybe also managing her house, cleaning up, and just tired. That's not an excuse. That's real. Some women are just tired. But then also, sometimes sex can feel just like it's a routine if there has been no...
Or like it's a chore.
Yeah, that's a good word to use. A chore. If there has not been any real foreplay prior to me getting home from work. And I'm not meaning foreplay from a sexual
mentally.
act. I'm meaning, have you stimulated my mind mentally? Have you sent me a sweet text during the week? Have you done something this week where foreplay may even look like this week rather than me picking up the kids and cooking dinner? It may be that you just relieve me of my burdens for that day so that I can be rested and ready to receive you in that way. It could look like running a bubble bath for me. It could look like having the house clean.
Thoughtful.
Something that is thoughtful where foreplay is there prior to us having sex. The other side of that, that's one way, a busy schedule, a lack of foreplay or a lack of desire or intimacy prior to that to really, because women are really emotional beings and you want to be able to have your mind there. The other part would also be a woman that is dealing with resentment or unforgiveness or not feeling safe with her spouse. Her body shuts down and she no longer has the desire to open up for him because opening up for him to enter inside of her feels like she's opening up to an enemy to come in and hurt her.
Wow.
So when there has been a lot of damage done in the relationship, it can almost feel like for me to have sex with you, for me to be intimate with you, it feels more like a violation than it does than pleasure.
Gotcha.
Because you've hurt me and you've wounded me so deeply, and I let you inside of me, intimacy, even not just sexually, I let you inside of my thoughts. I let you inside. I let down my boundaries to let you inside. Now you're inside and now you've hurt me. And so the person that hurt me, that now I'm closed up because you hurt me. Now sex makes me have to open myself back up. And so now I feel like I'm sleeping with the enemy. And now I feel like when we are trying to have intercourse, it really feels as though it is a violation of you even being allowed to enter inside of me after you've hurt me. And so it's the mental part of it that makes a woman say, my body just can't even respond to you right now because I'm still angry. Resentment is there. Anger is there. I don't trust you. And so that makes a woman shut down, which in turn to a man makes him feel like he's being rejected.
And I was saying from the standpoint of it not being any infections of offense or unforgiveness or anything like that, just the natural ways of life. Like
that was the first one.
I got you. I got you. And I would say from the standpoint from a man, the older we get, the less the testosterone flows through our bodies.
I was going to ask that. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because it's not just a woman shutting down.
It's a man
sometimes
too.
With a man as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure. And so the older we get, the testosterone does not pump through our body as strong as it used to. And so therefore, if a man is not taking, testosterone shots, and if he's not working out to push his body to the max to make sure that his body start producing testosterone, a man ain't. It's not the fact that he's not attracted, or it's not the fact that he don't want to have sex. It's just that he ain't aroused as the level that he would be aroused at.
This is such a real conversation.
At 31, 32. And I'm saying I think we need to have this conversation.
I do.
Because I'm pretty sure it's millions of couples out here that are dealing with the same thing. And what people are taking as rejection, as what they're internalizing as rejection, it just very well may be a defect in the bodies. And we just don't know it and we just don't talk about it. Especially for men.
And this is
like,
the thing.
Because I don't ever want nobody to think that I'm losing any type of vitality.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Yeah.
But I was thinking, so what's making us head to the divorce court? It's really just because we've never had this kind of conversation.
We ain't communicating.
And because the church doesn't talk about this
and the
type
church
of stuff.
don't talk about it either. And so we don't really A lot of people, if you're not athletic by nature and you don't like to work out by nature, a lot of people may do a little walking, but they ain't gonna, a lot of men, but they ain't gonna push their bodies to the limit. And I'm beginning to understand that when I push my body to the limit, it begins to like produce
more testosterone,
the testosterone in my body. So therefore, and then when the testosterone in my body, now I got a yearning. Yeah. I got a desire. Now I'm thinking in my mind, boy, I can't wait till I get to the crib.
Absolutely.
But it's not like
but
that.
But it's a lifestyle that you have to live to be able to prepare yourself to be able to be in that place.
And so unspoken conversations about things like this can ease into a person just having thoughts of rejection and not even knowing, like, man, they ain't really rejecting me. It's just that, man, they're getting older and their bodies are changing.
Absolutely.
Or a person, a body's just changing.
James, it's the same thing with a woman, that sometimes that a woman's sex drive can also be one that as she is getting busy in life, after she's raising the kids, after she's had a child, you're just not at that same place. Yeah. And then I also think that there are sometimes really ridiculous expectations of people. Yeah. It's just, you know what, society makes it seem like that. Talk to me about them
ridiculous expectations.
I think it's ridiculous expectations. I feel like we are a culture that is very, how do I word this? Temptation runs deep if you are not careful with what you are allowing yourself to see, what is before you.
Yeah, if you don't have no self-control with your eyes.
No self-control.
Your ears and your mouth.
What your social media looks like, what you're scrolling, what you're watching on TV, things that aren't even real. You're looking at actors. You're looking at a persona of somebody. This is not even real. And so sometimes you are getting expectations that aren't even coming from a realistic place.
Absolutely.
And so that can also make you feel like, okay, it's something wrong in our marriage because you have people making you think that every single morning we are having sex 2-3 times a day, every single day. Yeah. And I'm like, is that really true?
It's just they getting it on all day long.
Who has the time for that? We have very busy schedules. But speaking of rejection, you've got to be able to know your spouse.
Absolutely.
And if you're checking in with your spouse and you all are having these in-depth conversations, then you understand. But that also means that you go back to the love language. It may not be that we're having sex tonight, but let me at least just hug my spouse. Let me at least just kiss my spouse.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is that new levels of communication can destroy the spirit of rejection.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Because if we really, really talk about certain things, if we really, really get intimate in conversation emotionally and mentally, like the truth of the matter is, man, men get aroused by thoughts too. Yeah, and women get aroused by high level conversation too. Yeah, and so therefore, absolutely. if we could really take it to that next dimension, then it's kind of like stuff working now, and if stuff still working, and we start thinking hard enough, then then the desire for the intimacy will come back to the next dimension.
What do you think rejection does to a person's identity?
Oh wow, I think it does a couple of things to a person's identity, depending upon who rejected you, right? It has the ability to make you see yourself as a victim, or it will make you see yourself as, you can be a victim, or it make you see yourself as, I'm gonna show you. I think rejection goes one or two ways. I think it drives you. I think it drains you. You got me? And so depending upon who rejected you, right? Let's say, for instance, okay, my great friend that's a male, if he rejects me, right? For me, I'm set up to where, homie, I thought you was my guy.
Right.
I thought it was like that, right? I'm set up to where if my homie reject me, then all right, bet, I holler back. But in my mind, deep down in my mind, whatever you rejected me about, I feel like I got to get you back. I feel like not meaning
I got what you're saying.
Vindication of fighting or doing something vindictive towards a person. But I'm like, man, you're going to wish you had kept me around, because now it's going to produce a drive in me that's going to take me to a whole nother dimension. And I guess probably proving to you that I can excel, or proving to you that I can accomplish. Right. Right. On the other hand, right, if you was to reject me, and I know it's coming from a place of rejection, I know it's like, I don't need you no more. or I don't want you no more.
You mean like a love interest?
Yeah, I'm saying me and you.
Okay.
I'm saying if you rejected me at that point, 9 times out of 10, I probably wouldn't be able to eat, probably wouldn't be able to think, probably wouldn't be able to, like, I'm serious because
well, the two have become one.
Yeah, the two have become
you.
one. And so when I went so vulnerable and so transparent and you went inside of me, and then when you went inside of me, you've emptied me, I'm trying to figure out what have I done or what's so wrong with me. I cannot believe out of everybody on the earth that you can't see what I see. That's the reason why you said I do. Right. And so I just think, it's dangerous because it can do one or two things depending on who does it.
Yeah.
It can either drain you or drive you.
I think it goes the same way just from a friendship, or it goes to, like you said, in a marriage. When does the rejection piece become dangerous for somebody who stays in the victim mindset? Man,
it don't take long for it to become dangerous because when a person takes upon the victim mindset, then that self-pity, it's already there. And so when self-pity is there, all the evil spirits want to do is mutate. Right. So you'll go from being victimized to self-pity, then you're going to go to defeat. Or you go to discouragement, and then you'll go to defeat, and then you'll go to depression. And when you get to depression, then the enemy going to play with your mind and suicide.
Right.
So I can't stay a victim too long. I cannot stay in that place of self-pity too long, because the truth of the matter is, I think what did it for me was coming up, I started facing rejection at an early age. Quickly, right? And I learned fast that inside of rejection, that people ain't gonna feel sorry for you. I'm serious. Yeah, because the truth of the matter is, not only is your family going to reject you, but the world gonna reject you too. It's just something about life that God uses the spirit of rejection in order to make you bigger and better than what you are if you see it the right way.
That's so
but
good.
A lot of people don't see it the right way. A lot of people want somebody to feel sorry for them. And we're just in a world and in a culture where we got so many people being raised in such of a high level of being emotional that they think that just because I cry, just because I whine and I get emotional because of rejection, that means that somebody finna come to my rescue.
And accept me,
but the truth of the matter is, that's not it. Because a lot of times when other people reject you, it's your opportunity to look yourself in the mirror and say, no matter what they see, man, I see the best in me. No matter what they think, I think the best of me. No matter how they feel, I feel the best of me. It's an opportunity for you to speak life in yourself and get into a deeper level of intimacy with yourself.
I think that's so good because often we look at rejection as something that is so detrimental. But we've heard this saying that rejection also is God's protection. And so many times what I am so 1,000% sure about, there is nothing that has ever been withheld from me that God has not replaced it with something far better.
Yeah, for sure.
And so usually, even if it's something that I desire, I love how the Holy Spirit has set it up where, Tiffany, I know that you want it, but I know that it's not good for you. So the thing that you want, I'm going to make it not want you because I don't want that thing that you want, because he sees our end. We see where we are, but he sees where we're going. And so that thing that I may have wanted in 2000, God already saw my 2025. We got to kill that thing you wanted in 2000 because it's going to prohibit where I'm taking you in 2025. So we've got to be able to say, whew, okay, God, it didn't work out. It wasn't for me. I feel the sting of rejection. But surely you're not going to withhold any good thing from me. You've got to know that part. I'm in a season where I've been talking about this over and over again. Many of us love growth, but we really, really hate the process of pruning.
For sure.
Sometimes what we are calling rejection, it is
pruning.
Really just God cutting off things in order for new fruit to be able to grow. But if I keep wanting to hold on to what God is trying to prune, sometimes rejection comes because technically they would not have even been able to reject me had I just gone ahead and allowed God to do the necessary pruning. When we refuse I'm thinking of so many examples. When we try to hold something so tight,
for sure.
When we know that it's no good for us, for sure. God says, okay,
I'm going to make it hurt you.
You won't remove it.
But
so
it's gonna
I'm going to prune it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
going to come forth in the way of rejection.
For sure.
And it's often God's protection.
So, baby, in pharmaceutical sales, when I was doing pharmaceutical sales, one of my managers who I was a rep for, he told me this one thing. He said, "You can never be a great salesman if you are afraid of rejection."
My God.
He said, "You can never be a great salesman if you are afraid of rejection." This is what you got to know, James. He said this: "You're going to receive 99 no's. But the one yes you receive gonna override the 99 no's. But the question is, do you have the endurance to be able to endure the 99 no's? You're gonna go to 100 offices and you gonna every time you look around, but you gotta know who you are in the midst of this. You cannot let their no become who you are. Because if you allow their no to get inside of you and become your identity, then you're going to quit right before you were supposed to go to the next office who is going to say yes.
My God.
Yeah. And if you can just withstand the no's, then the yes is going to come. And so it teaches you in pharmaceutical sales not to take rejection personal because it's not personal.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just don't want your product today. That don't mean they ain't going to want it tomorrow.
You're right.
You see what I'm
think
saying?
about this even in dating. And when you maybe get rejected by somebody that you were not even married to, consider that as God blessing you where you don't have to file for a divorce later on had you married them. So it's sometimes where we want someone or we want something so bad and then it doesn't work out. And then we have this idea of what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Why didn't they see me as being beautiful enough? Why wasn't I enough? Not even realizing that in the moment, what if this thing was really about where God is taking
Lord,
you
have mercy.
and the doors he's about to open for you and where he's about to lead you, they aren't equipped for the journey that's ahead of you.
Babe, in dating, you would rather want a closed door
My God.
than a broken covenant.
Sir?
You would rather want a closed door than a broken covenant. Watch this. Because if they don't close that door physically, but they start thinking mentally that I don't know if he the one. I don't know if he can make the cut. Right. And then all of a sudden you end up going to the marriage. You end up going down to the altar
saying
you end up putting on the vows. You end up saying the vows and putting on the wedding rings. And then 5 years later, the thought that they was always thinking in their mind before they walked down, man, I don't think he can make the cut. I think I can do better. I think the grass greener than on the other side. So you should have wanted that door closed because now you're at a place you got a broken covenant. And when you get a broken covenant, you got a broken heart. Yeah. And that's why I say it stings the feelings, but it wounds the soul. So the question is, can you withstand the season right now of the door being closed so it will protect you from a broken covenant?
I think that's so good. I know people that maybe have been single for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're tired of being single. And they will get in a relationship with someone and they will know that this person
is not
not for them.
Yeah, for sure.
But they've already developed a soul tie with this person. And so when you develop a soul tie with the person and now y'all got some years under your belt, and what you do is, well, we're just going to do a prolonged dating before we get engaged, or we're going to do a prolonged engagement because even in your innermost knowing, you know this isn't it.
For sure.
Then you decide that I'm going to go ahead and I am going to marry this person.
Yeah.
And then while you're married to them, you're thinking like, I should have never done this.
Yeah.
I should have never made this mistake. But if you would have been bold enough.
If you'd have paid attention in the beginning.
You would have had enough courage in the beginning just to say, you know what, God, this isn't it. I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Sometimes rejection comes in the form, I just said it again, because we refuse to do what we were supposed to do when we in the beginning from the start.
Didn't have the courage from the start.
Yeah, Pastor James. So when we start talking about rejection, how do you separate worth? How do you separate your worth from somebody's ability to really be able to value? Because sometimes, let me ask where you can understand what I'm saying. You don't see me the way that I see myself. You don't value me in the way that I feel like I could just really just be the one for you. I could just help you. I could be the helpmate. Or even if I'm in it, I want to be this wife. I want to be this husband. But the person is just still like,
yeah.
How do you separate knowing your value versus their inability to be able to see who you are. It's almost like you are saying, hey, don't reject me. See me. I am this person. I can become this person. How do you separate that, knowing your value versus this? Maybe they are just not able to be able to be who you want them to be for you.
I think you have to be aware of understanding the difference between you knowing your value and you hearing their opinions.
Yeah.
Right? It's your value versus their opinions.
My God.
You can never allow nobody's opinions about you to be stronger than who God says you are.
Yes.
If you allow their opinions to be stronger than who God says that you are, then their opinions are going to devalue you.
Yeah.
And when you start seeing their opinion stronger than what God is saying, now you're at their mercy. They can play you like a yo-yo. They can take you up today, bring you down tomorrow. They can pull you in today, push you out tomorrow. It's simply because you've messed around and allowed their opinions to be stronger than who you know you are. Everything in life, babe, it's a battle for your self-esteem. When the enemy is trying to destroy you, all he got to do is come at your self-value, come at your self-assurance, come at your self-belief, come at your self-confidence, come at your self-esteem, come at your self-worth. If he come at it through whoever he got to come at it through, and if you don't know it and you don't know your identity, you don't know your value, then you're going to succumb to their opinions. When you succumb to their opinions, now the enemy can use them to take you up, take you down, take you on an emotional roller coaster. You'll be infected today. You'll be full of joy tomorrow. And you'll be a double-minded man, unstable in all your ways and not expecting anything from God.
I think that sometimes we get our self-esteem and we get our value from other people.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
And that's why one of the greatest things you can do is go through a season of isolation.
And we get our value and our self-esteem from accomplishments. It's a lot of different things we can get it from. But if we get it from everything except from God.
Except from the source.
Man, if we don't get it from the source, we're in trouble. But now we are subject to whatever we are getting our value in. I'm making sense.
I get it. So let me ask you this: when you did the rejection with the men the following week, and you told the story about when you got your heart broken in prison, tell us applicably what were the ways that you were able to rebuild yourself after getting hit in a low blow? Because I really do believe there is someone that is listening today that's saying, listen, I am dealing with the rejection. I am in a place where I'm hurt. I really wanted somebody. They did not want me. They rejected me. And maybe my self-esteem and my value was wrapped up in their thoughts of me. How does a person really get to the place applicably?
Let me tell you what I did. I went from it being external to her to being internal to me.
Explain that.
Meaning, what she did and what she said actually was the driving force to make me start looking on the inside.
Okay.
And when I started looking on the inside, I started thinking in these terms. If God loves me to that degree, what is it about me that I can't see or I don't know that makes him love me to this degree?
Okay.
And for me personally, at this time, it was immature, but it started me on the road.
I got you.
I found the gifting. I found something about me that I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I could bring to the world to add value to the world and to add value to other people. I began to really see the gift of communication that I have. And let me tell you how God did it. When I saw it, he started making me focus my gift on, he started making me focus on developing the gift. And then he will bring people around so I could use my gift on. And what would happen is, and when I would get the encouragement from them, when I would get the love from them, when I would get everything from them, right, it would start slowly but surely filling me back up out of the place where she had drained everything up out of me. Am I making sense? And so when you say applicable, I had to immediately go back to that spot. And this is the reason why I think with every fiber in my being, if a person don't have purpose, if a person hadn't discovered their gifting, if a person don't have vision, if the enemy comes and attack you with whatever he attacks you with, and you don't have a reason for your existence and you don't have something to develop, now you don't have nothing that you can look forward to. And because I had something to look forward forward to in the future, that I see my gift and I know my purpose. I know she left me. I know she played me however she played me. But boy, I'm going to tell you, boy, she going to wish a million days that she hadn't done that. And look at me now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but in other words, you got to find something that's bigger than you.
I got you.
You got to find something that's bigger than the situation. You got to find something that's bigger than what you're going through.
Yeah, when I think about that,
is it making sense?
No, it does. It makes a ton of sense. So you literally found yourself, you immersed yourself in your purpose and what God had called you to do.
Yeah, for sure.
And in your gifting. And I think about along the years in my own personal life where I have been rejected, and I once. What I had to believe, and this was what I did, because I'm not going to say that I found mine was in purpose.
And everybody's different.
Yeah, everybody's different. So mine was literally one day I had to sit down and I just had to think to myself, he doesn't want me, but God, surely there are some qualities where there is somebody else that is going to want me. And so I had to take it off of this one person. And I had to put it back on. There are 9 billion people in the world. Lord, surely there is somebody where I am enough, where they're going to value, they're going to see me. We can't get so wrapped up in to what the one person doesn't see. Because what they don't see, it literally could be that God is hiding you because he's saving you for the person that will be able to see. And so we sometimes sit too many people in the wrong seats, because God has another person that's supposed to be sitting in that seat. And rejection is literally the way of God saying, I'm trying to clear up the place, the seat where somebody is sitting. I'm trying to clear up that place because the person that I really have for you, they're going to need that seat that person is sitting in.
To everybody that's under the sound of my voice, what my prayer is that if you're in a season of rejection, my prayer is that you can get a new perspective, so it can change into a redirection.
Yeah.
Because if you get a new perspective and you see it the right way, then it changes into redirection. You are going this way, being rejected, then you will redirect yourself and start coming back this way. And then you're going to see that there is joy at the end of the rainbow.
Absolutely. I think that rejection has been life-saving for myself.
And life-changing.
Life-saving, life-changing, new direction, new beginnings. When I sit at this age today and I look back over the years of when I thought the rejection was trying to take me out, I'm so extremely grateful. The thing you hate today may be the thing that you love tomorrow. You've got to trust God that anything that is not in your life, or the things that don't stay in your life, you got to realize they didn't stay for a reason. So that must mean that God has something greater for me, that God has something better for me. And the other part is, Pastor James, we wish the people well that do the rejection. You get to such a place of peace and you get to such a place of healing and wholeness that now their goodbye becomes, thank you, I appreciate you for actually saying goodbye, because there's so many great things in store. I pray that there has been something that has been said today that encourages you, that makes you feel inspired, that makes you realize that rejection is God's protection, and that on the other side of this, that God is giving you the most amazing testimony ever, and that you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. We're not going to stay in the victim place so long. Rejection happens to all of us. But in marriage, I will leave this with the married folks. We talked a little bit about it, and I didn't get to say it during the part about sex. Let that thing that God has ordained to happen in marriage, allow that to be the place where you all really come in and you unite. And I'm going to tell my ladies, I heard one of the greatest things that was ever told to me about sex. They were saying, you just do it until you get into it. So with that being said, rather than rejecting him, do it until you get into it. And it's going to feel good. It's going to be worth it. And it's going to be an exchange of life that is happening, that is going to, make the relationship get back on track.
Yeah, that's what it's going to feel good. That's what sex feels good.
It better. But we're talking to the married people. To the married folks. That's what we're talking about. Guys, I pray that you all literally, you've learned something from this, that you have enjoyed hanging out and kicking with us. Episodes drop every Wednesday morning, and then we do a throwback on Sunday evenings. You all join the community, join what we're doing. It is Grace and Truth Live. If Grace and Truth Talks. If you're not following us on our Instagram,
follow us.
Right now, follow us. You can follow us on Grace and Truth Talks on all social media platforms.
Yeah, you can follow her on Just Tiffaney on Instagram. You can follow me on Pastor James TFCC.
Yeah.
Follow us, all right?
Just.Tiffaney, Tiffaney.
Finish the race.
Complete the work and get the job done.
Y'all have a great one.